Hey people, it's your friendly neighborhood Dan back at it again with another how to music thing. Yeah, I am really bad at introductions. I really enjoyed a beat that I made today and I want to show you guys how I made it so maybe you too can learn and figure out how to make cool, weird sounding beats on your own as well. I made this beat using GarageBand, so if you have GarageBand or another comparable introductory software with different plugins and samples, you too could probably make this beat or make a beat similar to it. I also used an MPK beat pad and synthesizer, and I've linked it down below if you're interested in checking out what I used and seeing whether or not you might want to invest in something like that. So let's just dive into the beat. Woo! As you can see, we have about 5 different samples sitting here right now, and I'm gonna show you how all of them sort of factor into the arrangement. The first thing I started with was a very natural sounding snare and hi-hat, just using something that I beatboxed into this microphone. I really like acapella stuff, and I'm a huge fan of trying to figure out how to manipulate the human voice into new and exciting sounds through technology, because it's a cool thing. So untreated, the sound started like this. But that alone is a little flat. So what I decided to do was throw on some flanger, flanger, flunger, flonger, I don't know how to pronounce it. Some flanger, exciter, and then a stereo spreader to spread it left and right. Then it sounds really metallic and weird like this. Yeah. Funky, right? So with that sound established, we needed a kick drum. So what I did was I plugged in my MPK, selected a preset called Crate Digger in the electronic drum kit presets on GarageBand, and basically laid this beat down. Now, what's happening here is I'm putting some compressor, overdrive, stereo delay, and channel EQ on, and I've cranked up the kicks and snares to be super intense, and turned up the drive as well to make it sound very like choppy and intense in your face. After we figured out the cymbals and the kick snares, we wanted to throw on some auxiliary percussion. So what I decided to do was throw on some bongos, and those bongos have a tape delay effect on them so that they sound a little bit more reflection-y. So that's not actually me doing all the bongo work, it's the delay making the rhythm sound. I doubled that bongo effect, and then I threw something called a bit crusher on there, so it makes it sound like the bongo is straight out of a video game. Here's how that sounds. Here it is isolated. And then for the pièce de résistance, I decided to shout like a hey into the microphone and affect it. So what I did was I said hey, then I pitch shifted it up to make it sound like I sounded like a chipmunk. Then I threw a groove ring shift and a tremolo on there to make it sound like it was like this reflection-y type bouncing back and forth kind of thing, almost like as if it was out of some sort of oddball cartoon. This is what it sounds like on its own. And then when I throw on some EQ, some pitch shifter, some ring shifter, some tremolo, we get this. Now, here's what that sounds like all together. Yeah, so that's how I made that beat. Stick around for more how I made this beat.
Early the next morning.
Just a quick thing I wanted to add. A lot of the stuff that I did with all of the effects I did by just playing around with them, experimenting with them, seeing what worked and what didn't work, playing with space in the arrangement of the beat. It's not going to be exactly as mine if you are working in GarageBand or working with those plugins. So just play around and experiment and see which works for you, because everybody has a specific ear and a specific style and a specific way that they like to hear music. This is just the way that I like to hear my music. I like this big, bouncy, cartoony kind of vibe, and I love this space between the arrangement of the beat. Yeah, just wanted to say that.